Good morning and welcome to Your Voice Matters TV with Riddell. Today, talking about voice, well, it's going to take a slightly different slant because I'm going to be talking about dinosaurs. My partner and I are travelling in North West Queensland, and we've been following what's called the Dinosaur Way, which includes Hughenden, Richmond and Winton. So it's a big triangle, a lot of kilometres between them. And the information that they've collated about the dinosaurs that were on this part of the world 95 million years ago is absolutely extraordinary. In Richmond, they have what they call Kronosaurus Corner, spelt with a K. And they had mainly the sea animals there. This part of Australia used to be a big inland sea. So they concentrate on the sea creatures, and they have an amazing display and one of those self-guided things where you get a little gadget and you get to a number and you push the number and it gives you the history of that little bit. So how interesting that, and the work and the research that's gone into this is absolutely amazing. So are we not giving a voice to the dinosaurs who lived on our planet 95 million years ago? And then we moved to Winton. Now in Winton they have two centres. They have the Dinosaur Stampede and they have the Age of Dinosaurs. So the Dinosaur Stampede is 110 k's out of town on a dirt road. So when we went into the Tourist Information Office to inquire, they said there's rain expected in 2 days if you're going, and the road's impassable if it rains. So if you're going to go tomorrow. So we chose to do that, and the temperature was 41 degrees. So we booked for the first tour of the day, which was 9 o'clock. So we were out of bed at 6, on the road, and out we go doing our 110 k's. And the road is a lot of dirt, 55 k's of dirt, some of it corrugated, but it wasn't too bad. So we get there, and it was just like, wow, look at this. It was actually, they actually have the footprints from a dinosaur stampede. They've been preserved, and then the earth showing the layers that they had to go through to get to the dinosaur bones, to the skeletons, to the history, and what they've been able to pick up just from the footprints. They've been able to tell size, the gait, how they run, and their size, just because of the pressure in the mud of that day. It's extraordinary to me. So the stampede was actually a big, cumbersome dinosaur chasing little ones that were sort of chicken size. So there was a bunch of these little ones, and the big one charged them. But because he was big and cumbersome and just plodding, the little ones scattered and ran past him. So they've got all these footprints of plod, 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 and hundreds of the little chicken ones running in the opposite direction. Now, isn't it extraordinary that they've been able to find them in one particular section and to be able to preserve them? They're now in a great big air-conditioned building, so they're safe for the future. And they're there for us to look back on history, to look back and see what was here before us, to have an estimation of how life was for them. So they had a couple of videos, and the animations, I mean, I know they're videos, but the animations in them were absolutely fabulous. They were awesome. So there ends the 110k in and 110k out. The next day, we went to what's called the Age of Dinosaur, and this is the biggest research facility in the Southern Hemisphere. And they're ongoing all the time. They've got several people working there. cleaning back their bones and things. And they showed us how they packed them up. They put them in like the crate, like the crate that you cart gogs of beer and stuff on that you see. So they've made them into like a splint, top and bottom, with space. And then when they finished that, they encase the whole thing with hessian and plaster of Paris, just like you have a plaster on your arm if you have a broken arm. And that encases it and keeps it as is until they're ready to work on it. And the guide said that even if they didn't discover any more, that they had enough there to work on for 10 years. So isn't that awesome? Isn't that amazing? Doesn't that show such dedication? Now, they're not government funded in any way. They're privately funded. They do get grants, but they're under their own supervision, and they work with volunteers. So they get the money from people coming to see the facility, and they have a group of volunteers, and once a year they go on a dig and take X number of people. I think they said 30, I can't recall that. And they go out and they do a dig for a week. So what amazing experience that would be. It wouldn't be for me because I don't like digging in the dirt, it's not my thing. But the passion and the energy of those volunteers is extraordinary. And then many of them then come back and work in the research laboratory, cleaning them up and doing the things they've got to do to preserve them. And it can be that they had a neck of a dinosaur which was maybe 8 foot long, and it had taken them 12 months to do one side, and then they flip it over and then they work on the other side so that they will have a perfect neck for this particular dinosaur. And then they took us into what they call the Dinosaur Canyon. So we hop in like an extended golf buggy, and they took us on a little drive. So it was all part of the experience. It's quite eerie because there's very little, pretty much dead trees. There's a few with leaves on, but it's really eerie and rocky. And they take you down to this area, and then you hop out of the buggy, and they've recreated a canyon of little dinosaurs, bigger dinosaurs, in what would have been their setting. So you think, how did they get that land? Well, they got that land donated to them by a farmer, you probably don't call them a farmer, a landowner, grazier, and it's certainly no use to be running cattle or sheep or anything on. It wouldn't support, livestock. So he donated this great big rocky area, and it is so suitable. It's almost like, you feel like you've gone back in time. And you go down that, it's all path. You walk down a path, and there's a little area recreated with the dinosaurs in that habitat, showing what they would have likely to have been doing. Now, what an extraordinary experience. I've loved it. What I didn't love was the heat, because we had 3 days of temperatures 40, 41 degrees, and it was almost heart-stopping. So I haven't posted a lot in the last week because of that, because it's just like I go into mushing brain. I can't think when we get to those temperatures. But then after that 3rd day of 41, we got a downpour. We got 2 storms 2 nights in a row, and it cooled down 10 degrees by the next morning. So now we're in Longreach, and that's another part of the journey. So isn't it just amazing how the skill, the research, the effort, the passion of these people, these professionals and the volunteers, to be able to do this, to bring it to life, to show the rest of us. And it's a wonderful facility. There's lots of things there for children to do too, like in the canyon. Before we went down, there's a little colouring in with little storybooks. It's got little puzzles and whatever, and there's some blank pages. And then there's a stand with little dinosaurs in brass, and you put the piece of paper over, rub with the pencil, and the image comes out. So wonderful things to entice children, to educate them, so that they too can share in that passion. So, okay, dinosaurs don't have a voice. What we saw was a recreation and imagination of what they do, but the animations were absolutely amazing, as was the music that supported it. But I am just in awe of that effort, that passion, that commitment to bring to life a part of life that's way, way gone, yet not forgotten. So if you enjoyed this and you'd like to see more of things that I do, you can join my free Facebook group, Rising Speakers Community, which is, free Facebook group. And come in and have a look. Come in and have your say about things that you're passionate about. Because today, my passion is dinosaurs. So cheerio, until the next episode.